Hi, stamping friends. It's Marilyn here, coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. Stamping Creations with Marilyn. On a Thursday night, we are on Thursday, March 24th this week. So happy to be here with you again to share a card and just have a visit, a chat, and continue with our stamping community that we have are building up. So good to see you. If you're coming on, please let me know where you're watching from. I always love to know that. And far-reaching. I love the community that we are building. So please join in. Hello, Linda. I see your name popping up there. So we've had a beautiful day here in Spruce Grove again today. Sun shining. It was only about 6 above today, Celsius that is. But yesterday, the weatherman tells me it was 19 above. I know I was out for a bit and it was beautiful. So spring is coming and we are happy. So hello, Bonnie. Hello, Diana. Good, good, good. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but thank you for coming, all of you. I have a couple announcements. Catherine, see your name. Karen. A couple announcements, and then I'm going to turn the camera down and show you a couple other things too. So this week has been busy. We have, yesterday we were given the, what's it called? The last chance list. We call it a retiring list. Hi, Betty from Red Deer. Good to see you there again too. Last chance list comes out before a new catalog. We have an new annual catalog coming that will be effective on May the 3rd. So they're giving us a chance to know what's not going to be carried forward, and to be honest with you, there's quite a few of my stamp sets that are not going to be carried forward, so have to decide what we're going to do with those, like I'm sure a lot of the rest of you. So that happened. We've still got our Savings in Bloom promotion that is happening till the end of March. I had my Stamp-A-Stack of Fancy Fold cards yesterday, and the 5 ladies who joined me had a good time, loved the cards, and it was really just a good afternoon to spend crafting. So if you ever want to join one of those, just let me know. Sign up on my newsletter because I usually have all the registration forms in there that you can join, and we'll just take it from there. So I'm going to flip the camera and turn you down, make sure I'm all in the right place. I see that names coming up, so must be where you guys can find me anyway, so hold on. Other side of my room. Try not to make you dizzy. Down to where you can see my desktop. So there is the Savings in Bloom that I mentioned. And it is a promotion, 20% off the mini cut and emboss, along with a number of the dies bundles that fit in that mini. And a number of those are being retired when that new catalog comes out. So if there's anything there that you were looking for, or anything on that last chance list that you've been looking for, I would suggest that you get it sooner rather than later, because it's only while supplies last. And the most important thing, and what we find usually sells out first, are the in colors that are retiring. So we have 5 in colors that are retiring, and those are the ones I'm going to use tonight in the card. And they will be gone. So there's paper, there is ink pads, there are ink refills, there are markers, there is designer paper, all kinds of things that are only in those colors and only while supplies last. So like I say, if you like those colors, don't hesitate to get them. And you've probably seen on social media the new in colors. We also had access to them this last week, and we have posted pictures of them. Again, there's varying comments whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, but they're what we're going to work with. So I like them all. I don't know about you, but I'm sure they will grow on us like all the rest of them do. So like I say, let me know. The other thing I'd like you to let me know as you're signing on and whatever and saying hi to each other is, what is your first thing you're going to do when we can go outside without a winter coat on again? I did just hear the weather forecast here, and Kathleen, you'll be happy to know that we are supposed to get snow again tomorrow. So you're not alone in Quebec City getting snow. Not that I want you to be alone with it, but I really don't want any more snow here. So let me know. Stamping Staycation. We've talked about it for a couple weeks now. Well, some of us have talked about it for a long time, but we are getting ready for it. It is going to be on Saturday, May 7th, and we will have registration start on Monday, this coming Monday, March 28th. So mark that on your calendar and watch, again, our emails and our social media for information on that. So the catalog, like I say, this one is finished. Well, it says April there, but on here it says May 2nd. What I do with mine, when I get that list, I go through it, and I'll just show you to give you an idea of how I keep track. Not that you have to, but just a suggestion. The yellow, I mark when I buy the set. The orange is when it's retiring. So you can see from this page, I presume you should be able to see all of it. I'm losing all 3 of those sets. This one was new this year. The other 2 I've had for a couple years, but it's just sad to see some of them go. So tell me, what set or product out of this catalog were you most disappointed to see leaving us? So that's the annual catalog. The current mini catalog is effective until the end of June, but as demonstrators, we've had access to the new catalog, and therefore we can determine some of the things that are being carried forward from this catalog, and that I mark with a pink, just so I'm aware visually what is happening. So as you can see from this one, this one's not carrying forward, and I certainly haven't shown it enough love. So that's what I'm going to work with tonight. It is what we call $1 million set. You can see here, this indicates that Sam Hammond was the lady who helped design this. When she reached her $1 million, she gets to work with Stampin' Up artists and go to Stampin' Up to help design a stamp set. And sometimes they're in the catalog for more than one go round, and sometimes they're not. My close friend and upline here in Spruce Grove, Karen Duke, had hers in the holiday catalog a couple years ago now. She is the one and only so far in Canada who has reached the $1 million sales. And she had the cutest set of elves for Christmas. And that set I have kept. It's not in my retired list, so don't look for it there. So this set I purchased because I like the swirls for the background. You can see by the darker areas that those pieces, no, not the darker. The darker has, oh, the strawberry builder punch. I didn't pull that one out. I do have the flowers and leaves, which punches out these kind of cream colored ones. And that's what I'm going to work with tonight. But the darker ones would be the strawberry builder punch that we have as well. So a couple punches in that case that you could punch out the designs like this. But I'm going to do a fairly straightforward card using the retiring stamp sets. So this is the set in real life. You'll find it on page 56, and it is a photopolymer set. So they now come with the design printed inside the back, and you can attach the stamps to make sure you've got them all, especially with these little tiny ones. Sometimes I need that. So my card, I'm going to show you the sample I made, is done with the Just Jade, and my instructions, the Just Jade paper, some of the Misty Moonlight, the designer paper that is for the 2020-2022 colors. So this is all of the in colors that are retiring. And I thought, I've got this paper, I better get using it. So a bit of that. And then I just stamped these flowers in Versamark, and that's how you end up getting them. Just Versamark on the color makes it show darker. So you don't really need an ink. You need the Versamark pad and your stamps, and you're good to go. And then I put a little strip of the designer paper inside and a strip on the envelope. So I'll try to watch for your questions, but please chatter amongst yourselves and we'll work at making this card. I decided for this one, for the demo one, I would do it in the Misty Moonlight, just because that was my favorite in color. So I'm going to have, just kind of reverse it, I'm going to have a layer of the Just Jade. Then I'm going to have a layer of the Misty Moonlight designer paper, and then my focal layer that it's going to be stamped on. And I will use, even though maybe that swirl looks like a branch or whatever, I'm going to use the blue Misty Moonlight to stamp it, just so it's coordinating there. I just need to grab my foam pad. Turn it over so it doesn't look quite so bad for you. So I like to do all of my stamping before I put anything together, just in case. And especially with a bigger stamp like this, I do like to turn my ink pad over. Whoops. Hello, Peggy. I see that the camera's jumping up and down, so hopefully that isn't making you seasick. So I'm just going to layer that on my Very Vanilla, and that's something I haven't used a lot of recently, is the Very Vanilla cardstock and envelopes. So I'm going to try and fix that too. So I've got that, and then the Happy Birthday from that set as well. I'm just going to place it there and hope it's all straight. Not bad. And that's all the stamping with our color, with our Misty Moonlight. So then, to get my different flowers, I'm going to bring in some of the papers. These are the papers of those colors. I've already stamped some of the leaves, and because the punch has flowers and leaves on it, it's kind of tricky to get so that you're punching just the leaf and not a whole bunch of other paper and wasting it. So I found for these, it was great to use just a small strip like that, and then you line it up so you can see like that. And I will have confetti there, but that will be my leaves. And for the other thing that I do with a punch like this is I punched just a piece of white cardstock, and this shows where to layer it. So if you were stamping all of these at once, you could lay this one goes in here, you could fit your stamps there, lay them all on one block, and then it would fit exactly on the punch when you went to punch it out. So just a little tidbit there. Any of these are called builder punches. Didn't have room for that, obviously. And any of the punches like that, that's what I do with it. So I did have, when I made those, I've got a few more here, so that might be enough for what we're doing tonight. Then I will use my Versamark, and I don't need, even though I've got my embossing buddy on there, I don't need it for this kind of stamping. So I'm just going to stamp on each of the colors. And again, I discovered that I didn't want to stamp with the two petals up like this. It had to be more at an angle for the punch to work on this strip. And you can see that, well, hopefully you can see that it gets a bit darker as it dries. So I have that one, and I will do them all, and hopefully, as you watch me punch them, okay, I need a bumblebee, So which of these colors are you going to miss the most? For me, it's going to be the Misty Moonlight. And I think I'll do one in the blue anyway, even though the blue is at the back there. You've never tried what, Bonnie? Just the Versamark on the cardstock? Obviously, I've missed in teaching. It's been around for a while, but you know, it's we were talking the other day about actually the fancy fold class that I did, about how things, they seem new and then they go away, and then people think, oh, look at what I found, it's all new, but it's really an old technique coming back, and that's one of these. So if you line it up, you can see, and like I say, I got paper confetti all over. Linda, you like the cinnamon cider? It is a great brown to fit in our collection of colors, isn't it? And so it really doesn't take long to make a card like this. And I'm hoping that if you have something similar or a set that maybe you can just punch on the paper and, oh, that's not going to work. See what happens there? I have quite a mess of this paper stuck in the punch. I should have trimmed it beforehand, but you know, those things happen. I was using, the other thing you can do if you have just little pieces of paper, and I did use little pieces to begin with. Okay, is that you can use a sticky note to hold it in there. My phone's telling me that it's low battery. So if that happens, I will sign out and back in again, and I do have the cord here, so I will figure out why it's not working. But until that actually shuts off, we will keep going. So all I need to do now is take my pieces and use a glue dot to put my leaves on the back. And I tried to match, I did copy this from somebody. I don't have it written down there. But I just took this, stuck a glue dot on it, there, and then take my little leaves and have them stick out like that. Well, one would be good enough. And then place them. I did use dimensionals to place them on the card front. And you know what? I should try and figure out, I don't really want this to stop, so I'm going to try and change the power cord as we talk and see if that helps. So back to my little leaves. So you don't have to put them all straight across like that. You can see on that other bumblebee one, I had it, whoops, like that. And yes, it's easier to follow if I've got the sample that I did. I'm just going to follow and do very similar. And whoever, again, as always, as you comment, I will put your name in for a draw next week to get this card. I heard from Kathleen today that she received my card from a couple of weeks ago, so Canada Post is getting things there, which is really good. And I really, really appreciate your comments and your sharing of what I create as we can build this community. So these, you notice this container is from Embellishments. We get the neatest little containers for keeping things. So I keep them for a lot of different things, sometimes even for the grandkids to put little treats in as they're helping me. And then they're on their way. So there is our bases. And now I can glue things together. And again, basically just each layer, and I like to work with mine from the bottom up. So my card base, then I'm going to not measure that, just eyeball it. And a bit different on this card again, because the edges, there's no border on the edges there. But I thought it really lent itself well to using this designer paper and showcasing different colors. Again, these poor colors that will be disappearing. And I'm going to use dimensionals on the flowers to put on, so therefore these layers I am just using liquid glue. And, whoa, trying to line them up. And as always, you can see that's where we worked last week. I like to turn my card over and do the embellishing from the back. So now, if I take my dimensionals and I'm going to just place them. I thought I'd make this one out of this flower out of the Misty Moonlight, because the green is showcased in the leaves. So you can see, again, using lots of smaller pieces of paper, maybe not quite as apart as that one was, but a great way to use up your pieces of paper. So, and there. Now, I'm sure you can tell there's something missing, and I certainly could. When I got it done, it was like, oh my gosh. It's okay, but it's not fantastic. So I pulled out my champagne rhinestones, and using my Take Your Pick tool, I can add one to each of them. And it gives it, in my world, it gives it exactly the right amount of shine. So, what do you think? It, like I say, not a lot of time and effort to do it once you figure it out. Like once you get your sizes, that's what, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly find the most difficult thing is deciding what I'm going to do. And then once I do that, it's just a matter of, well, making a note so I know what's, better check that, make sure that's the right size before I do that. So of course I'm going to put one of the Very Vanilla on the inside because we need something to write on. And I know lots of, I see lots of comments on social media about, well, you didn't give me any sizes, you didn't give me this or this, and it's sometimes easy to figure out what people did, and that is going to be, I'm going to cut at 5 1/4. Because what I could have done is put this on first, and then I could have trimmed it with my scissors before I put the inside layer on. but this works. And then same for the envelope, I can put it on and trim it. But I think that adds to the completeness of the card. And there's still lots of room to write your greetings. So now we'll do something similar here. And I often wonder, I don't know, do you guys put things like this on your envelopes? Do you ever hear, like I don't ever see my mail person. I think it's a lady, but I don't even know that for sure. But whether they take note of this kind of thing when they're delivering the mail, do you think? I have some show and tell cards, and I know Diana was on here. I think she said she was having internet issues, but she always, when we have card class or anything, she's always got the envelope completed. And but I often wonder if the mail people even take note of it. I know we do when we receive them, don't we? I'll enjoy seeing what everybody has to do with that. So clean up some of my stuff around here. So good. So that is our card. Didn't take long. And I don't know, I like both of them. It's just a great way, I think, to use and showcase that design or that paper that is about to leave us. So I will bring in some show and tell cards. And I'm sorry, but I don't have a name. I didn't save the envelope on this one. But great layout and using designer paper. I love how and I'm going to say that is the bumblebee, right? Looks like it, yep. The bumblebee paper makes it just pop. Beautiful, beautiful card. And if anyone is in the swap with me, I'm sure that's from a swap, but sorry to whoever, because I didn't save the envelope. This one is from Karen from a swap, and she's used the new hexagon dies that we have, and cute little bow, and here cut out this. There's two layers, so on this layer she cut out the one and then did the stamping in behind. I just love that layout. This is another one done with a die that we currently have, and you would have had to, my bone folder's really ugly looking, cut it out twice. So cut it out in the glimmer paper and then cut it out in the white, and you can see these squares are glimmer and these are white, so it's just a matter of sticking the squares in there again. I'm thinking adhesive sheets would be a great thing. Tempted with those hexagons. Yes, I have those and I haven't used them enough, but they are carrying forward. So another one done with stitched rectangles, a little bit of vellum that's embossed, and designer paper. This is the reverse side, not the blue side of that blue oceans waves of the ocean paper that we currently have. This one is done with the ladybug punch and the hive embossing folder, and it's a neat fold, just a real different kind of Z fold, W fold, fancy fold. Maybe that one will be next year's fancy fold class. I'll hang on to that. This is one we did. Karen, who's on here tonight, was with us. Bonnie and Linda also on here. Linda was the one that taught us how to do this in our Zoom class on Friday. And just a really, really neat fold to for something different. And just a reminder on that anyone is welcome to join. I do not advertise the Zoom link for that one, but all you have to do is send me an email and I will add your name to the list and you'll get the emails for the class. If you can't join, you'll get a copy of the recording afterwards. This is one I just received using the flowing flowers, I believe it's called. It's in the mini catalog and just stamped with white ink on the Pacific Point. Isn't that gorgeous? And she did a whole bunch of stamping on the inside. So thank you, Helen, for that one. This one is, see, I kept the envelope on this one. This one is from Sharon. Thank you, Sharon, for the butterflies. And the designer paper does the talking as usual. This one's from Lori. Again, designer paper that does most of the work, but some cute little embellishments on there. There's no special reason for this card. Thought you could use some sunny thoughts today. Lovely, lovely sentiment. And last but not least is Diana's. And as I said, her envelopes are always decorated. This is that Waves of the Ocean again. And a card that is another fancy fold. It's another one we could do for next year. I usually do a fancy fold class each year. But it would stand up, if you can see that, in the if you wanted your cards to stand up. I know for some people that's really important, that they want to be able to have the card stand up, but beautiful paper again. So that is all that I have for you tonight, other than drawing the name for the card we made last week, which is that one. So I'm going to bring the iPad over and see if I can get to where I've got the names. And look at those pretty spring colors, aren't they great? Can hardly wait for more sunshine and more snow to disappear. So I'm going to hit the right button and we'll spin. And Kathleen, congratulations. You are the lucky winner. So hopefully that's inspired you to create a card, share it. I love seeing what you have, what you've been making, no matter whether it's something similar to what I did or not. I would love to have you share it. And just, if you can't figure out how on my website or my Facebook page, just let me know and I will help you with it. So until next week, take care and I will see you then. Bye now.